Hi, my name is Lynn Forbes. I'm co-founder of WOW Network, Women Honoring Our Age. And we're at Women at Woodstock conference having an amazing time with an incredible number of women, including my guest, Victoria Zackheim. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you.
Victoria is a writer, an editor, a teacher, a playwright. She has published a number of anthologies. She is an instructor at the UCLA Writers Program. She's now in development on 2 plays. And she is also on her own heart's journey. And we were talking about this before the interview, about this amazing time of life and how things just start to happen in a way that they've never happened in your life before.
That's true.
And you told some beautiful stories.
Well, I think that when you get to a certain age, you can't fight the life that you're living any longer. You can keep moving forward, or you can get stuck. And we talked about this before. You have to keep that balance where the excitement and the anticipation of the good things has to be higher than the fear, because if you let the fear take over, then it becomes an obstacle to your creativity and to the joy that you have living your life. And I've had the experiences just in the last 6 or 8 months where for some reason, maybe it's age, coming up to my 69th year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That I just opened, my heart is open in a way that I don't remember it ever being like that, in the sense that I'm letting people get close to me in a very new and unique way for me. And I found it's been very, very moving to let somebody get close and say, "You're a dear friend, I love you," and not think, why? Or put those obstacles up that you put up to protect yourself.
Too close.
Too close. But also, don't hurt me.
Sure.
Which is what comes with friendship sometime.
Yes.
And so what's happened is that my friendships are changing. And people who are not able to get close, I feel them sort of moving away, because I'm no longer that kind of superficial relationship. I'm looking at things differently, and I think as my life is going on and as I'm getting older, I also understand that I don't want to spend time in superficial relationships.
Well, I think it's interesting because where your work has always been an expression, or you've considered your work an expression of yourself.
Yes.
What happens too, I think friendships, particularly girlfriends, become an expression in a way that they haven't been before.
And in a very different way.
Yeah.
The intimacy changes enormously, because it's no longer about the words that you're saying to each other. It's looking at each other and just knowing, because you love each other and you're friends, and looking into each other's eyes, feeling each other's pain sometimes. A very dear friend had a stroke a few years ago. We communicate in a different way now than we used to, but it's quite extraordinary, because it's not what we say to each other, it's how we feel just being together.
Now, do you find your work changing as a result?
It has. It really has. I'm taking on projects, or thinking of projects, that never would have interested me even 5 years ago. And one of them is it's a memoir called Entangled, The Chronicle of Late Love. And I turned it into a play, and the actors have to play roles of a 70-year-old man, a 70-year-old woman, and an 82-year-old man. And it's about passion. It's about taking the risk to love. It's about devastation. And it's absolutely one of the favorite projects I've ever done, really. I mean, I'm also working on a film, but it's very machismo. I had to actually bring a man in to say to him, "Listen, I can't write these scenes well enough because I don't have enough testosterone."
Right.
But 10 years ago, I never would have admitted that. Now it's like, come on, help me. Let's do this together.
So you're leaning on people.
I'm trusting people more, and I'm not so hard on myself to think that I have to do it alone. More and more, the anthologies taught me, my first one came out in 2007, the beauty of collaboration. And collaborating on a creative project can just be magical.
That's the C word. Collaboration. It
I love
truly
it.
is.
I love it. I love the collaboration. And when you find somebody with whom you can collaborate successfully, it really is magical.
You know, we talked earlier about how you're beginning to understand that you are taking on too much, and you're giving yourself permission to sort of step back, and it's actually affected you physically, and how you're trying to decide what is it that I'm doing that brings me joy. Just because I can do something What? Doesn't
Yes,
mean,
yes, we talked
doesn't
about that
mean I
before.
should.
Just because I do it so well doesn't mean I should
Yes,
be doing it.
yes.
Absolutely. I mean, when I turned 60, I made a promise to myself that any creative thought I had, I was going to go after it. If it didn't work, it didn't work. It wasn't a failure. The failure would be not to try. And in fact, I've started lecturing to women's groups about risk-taking as you get older because of my own experiences. But what I discovered these last months, unfortunately, and it's a good thing I did learn, but I almost paid a huge price, was that I was taking on so much that I was working 20-hour days and sleeping 3
Ouch.
hours,
Oh.
and I got sick. And I was very
No
lucky.
kidding.
Yeah, I was very lucky. But it made me understand that whether you're 40 or 70 or 90, you have to be able to make choices and be willing to say, it's just too much. Yes, I could do it. I could do a great job with it, but that doesn't mean that I should. I can proof a book for a friend, which I'm doing now. And as I was working on it, I thought, I'm not doing this again. It's taking all of my time away from my own creative work.
Yes.
I'm not charging them for it.
Right.
It's out of friendship. But there's that other part that says, well, if you do it well and it helps them, then maybe that's something you need to do, because being generous and being kind and being loving is also part of the creative process. So I have to.
It's a fine line, it really is. It's hard work, or it's actually not so much hard work, but it's a big revelation growing up when you're already an adult, isn't
Yes,
it?
it is. And I came to it late.
Yes.
I really did come to it late. A lot of women get to this point when they're 20 years younger.
Yeah.
But I'm a late bloomer.
Well, I would say it came to you just when it was supposed to come to you.
I think so. I do think so. I think that I needed to do everything that I did to lead up to this point. And that's why it's important for me to stay healthy, because I'd like to have another 20 years of productivity.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
We both need to be around in another
Yeah.
20 years. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you very much.